Hey creatives, welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's Vanessa here. I know it's been a minute since I posted a tutorial, but here I am with this dazzling, beautiful and wonderful bejeweled beaded bag. This bag is easy to do, honestly, and it can be made in any color, and you can choose your own accessories for the bag. It is so unique. I mean, you can use it for a party, wherever you're going to, you can hold on to it. It is very easy to do, I promise you guys. It's going to take a while to do, but I promise it's very easy. So make sure you watch the entire video without skipping any parts. Please subscribe to the channel so you stay tuned for all the tutorials I am going to post, because I have got new designs coming up real soon. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get right into the tutorial. Now this tutorial is in two parts. The first part is the body of the bag and the second part is putting on the accessories, and all of it is going to be in this one video, okay? No two videos here. Now for the materials of the first part, you just need 10 mm square or sugar beads, a 0.7 fishing line, and you need your scissors. Now you're just going to do a regular beaded mat. So we are doing a 15 by 2 beaded mat. If you don't know how to do that, or if you don't know what it means, I'm going to show you. Go ahead and cut a fishing line which you're comfortable using, and you're going to pick up 4 beads, and you're going to cross cross, I like to say cross, with the 4th bead, and then you're going to pick up 3 beads on one end of the fishing line, just one end of the fishing line. Then you're going to cross with the 3rd bead, and your work is going to turn. This is the first turn. So this is row 1 done. And to start row 2, the fishing line on my right hand, I am going to pick up 3 beads on that fishing line, and I'm going to cross with the 3rd bead right there. So most of my tutorials right now, they're not that beginner friendly, because I did a whole playlist, a whole course on beginners in beads. So I'm expecting that you have like a knowledge of beads before you're doing this bag, because it's more of the intermediate advanced. But if you don't know, I'm going to try my best to explain, okay? So the fishing line on my left, I inserted it into the following bead, then I picked up 2 beads on that same fishing line, and I'm going to cross, and that's going to complete row number 2, okay? So you see we have 2 already. That's a 2 by 2 mat right now, okay? That is a 2 by 2 beaded mat. So we need to do a 2 by 15 beaded mat. I hope I'm making sense. So I'm going to take the fishing line on my right hand, or the fishing line facing away from my work. I'm going to pick up 3 beads, and I'm going to cross with the 3rd bead, then insert my fishing line into the following bead, and on that same fishing line I'm going to pick up 3 beads again, no, 2 beads, sorry, 2 beads now, and then I'm going to cross with the 2nd bead. Okay, now we have a 2 by 3 beaded mat. I hope it makes sense now. Okay, so right here we have our 2 by 15. You can pause the video and count yourself. So this is a 2 by 15. Okay, now this is what we are going to do. We're basically making a T. All right, so I want to go to the middle, so I'm going to count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have 3 beads there in the middle. So I want to do like a T shape. So on those 3 beads, I'm going to extend a mat downwards. Okay, so I've inserted my fishing line into the first of the 3 beads, and I'm going to pick up 3 beads, and I'm going to cross with the 3rd bead. Then I'm going to insert my fishing line into the following bead, or the second of those 3 beads, and then I'm going to pick up 2 beads, and then I'm going to cross with the 2nd bead. Okay, like you see me do right here, I'm just going to cross. So I just used a new fishing line to start this. Then I'm going to take my fishing line on my right, insert it into that 3rd bead. With that same fishing line, I'm going to pick up 2 beads, and I'm going to cross with the 2nd bead, and this is going to cause us to have a turn. Okay, I hope you can see that. Then on the fishing line on my right, I'm going to pick up 3 beads. So this is going to start row number 2. That's row number 1 we just did. This is going to start row number 2. Pick up 3 beads, and you're going to cross with the 3rd bead. Insert your fishing line into the following bead, and you're just doing the normal matting method. So I've done a similar bag on this channel, a tutorial, this one right here, and I used a completely different method. And I just want to clarify something, a question that some of you guys asked. So someone asked me how to make the bag to be like a bigger size, or yeah, a bigger size of this bag, and I just want to answer it right now. So to make this a bigger size, um I think I replied that you use maybe size 12 beads, but the easiest way to get a bigger size of this bag is this middle part. you go ahead and make it to be like, instead of 3, because my middle part here that's forming this T is 3, you can go ahead and make it 4 rows, 5 rows. That is how to increase it. Okay, instead of 3 rows, you gotta make it 4 or 5. So as you can see, I've done 7. So this is a 3 by 7. The extension down is 3 by 7. So if you want to make this exact bag but in a bigger size, you can make the T down to be a 5 by 7. Okay, the 7 stays put. So to increase the bag, all you need to do is to add the number of rows just for the middle part. The 6 beads on each side remain. I hope I'm making sense. Okay, now we are going to continue. So I've done my 3 by 7 and I've inserted my fishing line into the second bead from the top of the T, and I've picked up 3 beads and I've crossed with the third bead right there. Okay, if you have any questions, please just make sure you ask them in the comment section. All right, then I'm inserting my fishing line into the first bead of the row, then the first of the 6 beads of the top part of our T. Okay, and then I am going to pick up 2 beads to cross. So I've just made like an extension of a normal circle of 4, 2 of them. Okay, now that is like, I'll say, row 1 of building the rounded side. Okay, so I've inserted my fishing line. I just zoomed in so you guys can see clearly. I'll insert my fishing line into the following bead. So this is the second bead of the T. Remember, we had left 6 beads. This is the second, so it's left 4. Then I'm picking up 3 beads and I'm crossing with the third bead. So this second row is made up of circles of 5. So that makes a circle of 5 right there. Up you can see I'm inserting my fishing line to the following bead. So my fishing line is attached to 2 beads. To make another circle of 5, I'm going to pick up 3 beads on the fishing line on my left, and then I'm going to cross with the third bead, and as you can see, that forms a circle of 5. Now I'm going to insert my fishing line into the following bead, then into the third bead of our T extension. I hope you can see that. Then now that my fishing line is attached to 3 beads, well, how many beads do we need? 2 beads to make a circle of 5. So I'm just going to pick up 2 beads and I am going to cross like that. So as you can see, we have a circle, we have 3 circles of 5 for our second row. So for our third row, we are going to have circles of 4. So I've inserted my fishing line into the next bead of our elongated T. Then I'm going to pick up 2 beads and I'm going to cross to the second bead, insert my fishing line into the following bead, pick up 2 beads, and I'm going to cross to the second bead. So we are, yeah, like I said, we're on the third row. The first row was those 2 circles of 4 we had. The second row was 3 circles of 5. Now this is our third row that we're working on, okay, in order to get that curvy shape. So I'm just going to work circles of 4 until I get to the end. As you can see, those are the circles of 4, and I'm just showing you guys the first row, the second row, and this is the third row. Please, if you have any questions, ask me down in the comment section and I'm going to answer them. So I'm just finishing up the row. I'm inserting my fishing line into the very last bead of that circle of 5 from the previous row, then into the next bead of the top part of our T. Then my fishing line is attached to 3 beads, so I'm going to pick up 1 bead and end that row. Okay, so we have 3 beads left on the top part of the T, so I'm going to insert my fishing line into the following bead like so. And now my fishing line is attached to 2 beads, and this next row, the fourth row, is made up of circles of 5 again. So I'm going to pick up 3 beads because my fishing line is attached to 2, and then I'm going to cross with the third bead, and I'm going to insert my fishing line into the next bead, the next 1 bead. Then I'm going to pick up 3 beads because my fishing lines are attached to 2 beads, and then I'm going to cross with the third bead again. All right, so I'm just going to work until I attach it to the other end, to the T, and now my fishing line is going to be attached to 3 beads, as you can see. So I need 2 beads in order to complete the row. So I'm going to pick up 2 beads and I'm going to cross with the second bead, like you see me do right there. Okay, so this is the the 5th row. Yeah, the 5th row. So I'm going to insert now, my fishing line is going to be attached to 2 beads from the previous row, then 1 bead from the elongated T. Then I'm going to pick up 3 beads and I'm going to cross with the third bead. So this is going to form a circle of 6. Then I'm going to move my fishing line on my right into the next 2 beads. Okay, no longer 1 bead. We're doing circles of 6 now, and circles of 6, you insert it into the next 2 beads, then pick up 3 beads and cross with the third bead, and I'm going to continue until I get to the end. All right, so I just want to show you guys what to do when your fishing line is short, but I just wanted to complete this 6th row. So I was literally battling with a short fishing line here. So I've just inserted 3 beads. Then I'm going to put it in to that last bead that was supposed to put it in. Then I'm making sure that the fishing lines meet on one place. This is how I do my own ending of my work, okay, when my fishing line is short. So I just do everything possible, do basically everything possible that both of your fishing lines meet in one hole. Then you're going to tie it off twice, as tight as you can. Then you're going to tuck it in a zigzag motion, okay? I just thought to show you guys this part. But sometimes I like to tuck it in immediately. I tie it. Sometimes I do it when I'm done with my work. It just depends. So those are my circles of 6 beads, as you can see. So I'm just cutting a new fishing line, and I'm going to show you guys how to attach it. So I am going to insert it into the very last bead of our T, the 6th bead of the top part of our T. As you can see me do here, I'm inserting it into one bead, and one bead from the circle of 6, then the last bead of the T. Then I'm going to pick up 2 beads, and then I'm going to cross with the second bead, because what we are doing circles of 4 again. This is the final row. We are doing circles of 4. All right, okay, so you just go ahead and you cross with your second bead, and this is what you should be having. Insert your fishing line into the next one bead, remember, pick up 2 beads with the other fishing line, which for me is the fishing line on my left, and then I'm going to cross with the second bead. So I'm going to do that until I get to my T. Then, like I said, to tuck in your fishing line, I just make sure both my fishing lines meet on one spot, and then I tie it. I just tie it, do it twice, make a knot, basically tie twice. Right, so you're just going to copy the exact same thing that you have on this side, on the other side, obviously. And yeah, if this method is a little bit harder, you can go ahead and check the other tutorial of the semicircle Bottega beaded back video. I'm going to leave the link down in the description box. So this is what our first side of our semicircle is looking like. And now all you have to do is to build up the sides of the back. Now you can make the sides as big or as wide as you want. So I have my fishing line attached to the sides. So I just picked up 3 beads and I crossed with the 3rd bead. Then you insert your fishing line into the following bead like so, and your fishing line is attached to 2 beads. Pick up 2 beads and you cross with the 2nd bead, okay? Right, I'm just going to continue this method until I go around the back, basically. So yeah, this is one row. I just did one row for this side, and yeah, this is how it's looking like. And on this other side I did 2 rows. So you can do as many rows as you want, depends on how wide you want your bag to be, okay? So my total bag is 8 inches. If you decide to change the middle part, I'm just showing you the middle part, which had 3 rows. If you do like 4, it's going to obviously be wider. You can do 2, you can do 1. So that's how you regulate the size of the beaded bag, okay? So this other part I did 2 rows, so that when I'm joining or attaching both ends together, I'm going to have 4 rows for the sides. You can do 5 rows, you can do 6 rows, depends on how wide you want your beaded bag to be. But this is a disclaimer I want to say, okay, because the way you do your sides depends on how your handle of your bag is going to turn out. So I'm going to explain that in a moment. So I basically inserted my fishing line into the corner bead, picked up 1 bead, inserted it into the matching bead on the other side, picked up another bead again, and I crossed, right? Insert your fishing line into the following bead of the side on your left hand, on the bead of your right hand side. Then I really hope I'm explaining this well. Then pick up 1 bead and you cross it. Please, at this point, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do. Okay, so I'm going to have a total of 4 rows for the sides for this corner of my beaded bag. So an even number means you're going to have an odd number handle. You're going to have a 3x3 handle. Does that make sense? If I have 5 rows for my corner, I'm going to have a 4x4 beaded handle. But now that I have 4, I have 4 rows for the side. That means I'm going to have a 3x3 handle. You're going to see what I mean by 3x3 handle. I have all of that in the beginner in beads course. Okay, so I just made sure all my fishing lines met in one place, then I tied it off, and yep, this is how it's looking like. So I'm just going to show you guys how it's going to look like when you fold it. So usually I fold the two, you remember the 7 by 2 rows that we started, okay? So I basically fold those 2 rows in order to create the bag like this. So I'm just going to show you guys how it looks like. If you want to attach a zip at this point, you can. But of course, we have to do our phone test because you guys like bags that your phones can enter inside. And bam, your phone can enter inside. And that's a very big phone, okay? So we've done the phone test. Okay, now we are going to do a decrease on the side. So you're going to insert your fishing line into that second bead that I showed there. Then you're going to start building up the side. So insert into that second bead. I don't know what happened to that other part where I inserted the fishing line, but you can go ahead and watch the other tutorial if you do not understand. But that second bead that I pointed, insert your fishing line there, pick up 3 beads, cross to the third bead, insert it into the following bead, and pick up 2 beads and cross. Then here we are getting towards the end. So I'm picking up 2 beads. That's the first bead on the wider side. Okay. Then for the second bead, I am going to insert my fishing line into that second bead right there, right? On that same fishing line, I'm going to pick up 2 beads. Then I am going to cross backwards into that fishing line, into the bead that I crossed previously. Because we are about to form a decrease. We want to make the handle and we want to do decreases. Okay. So I am just going back. So I'm skipping that second bead right there and I'm coming to this bead. I want my fishing lines to be popping out of the second bead. So we have skipped a bead and this is what causes a decrease. We want to decrease until, since we had an even number on the side 4, we are going to decrease until we have an even number, which is 2. As you can see, that's a slant. So that causes a decrease. So I'm going to work backwards until I get back to that 1 bead, to the last but 1 bead from the previous row, and then I'm going to repeat the same process of doing a decrease. Please, if you don't understand how to do a decrease, I'll leave the playlist, the link to the video that I'm teaching you how to do decreases in that beginner in beads video, or you can go and watch the other Bottega semicircle beaded bag tutorial. I think I explained it even better there. Okay, so I'm just working backwards, picking up 2 beads and crossing with the second bead, and as you can see, I've reached the other side, right? And I'm just crossing backwards. I'm skipping that last bead and I'm the last but 1 bead. I'm crossing backwards. And now I want my fishing line to be popping out in one of the first of the 4 beads at the corner. Do you see where my fishing line is supposed to pop out? So I'm just going to do the decrease until I'm left with 2 beads. As you can see, because my bag was an even number, I'm left with 2 beads at the top when you do all the decreases. Please tell me I'm making sense in the comment section. Please, someone should tell me, because I feel like I've been away from making tutorials for so long. I don't know how to explain stuff anymore. Yeah, so this is how it's supposed to be looking like. And let's continue. So now we are going to squeeze our bag. Okay. Now I'm inserting my fishing line into the very first bead, the hole that goes from down to up or from up to down. Okay, that's the only way I think I can explain it. From the decreases that we had, I'm going to pick up 1 bead. Okay, then I'm going to repeat it on the other side, insert the fishing on the other side, pick up 1 bead, and I'm going to cross. So this is going to squeeze the handle of our bag. I promise your phone is still going to be able to enter after this. Then I'm going to insert my fishing line. I'm sorry for all the blurring. I'm going to insert my fishing line into the next bead. The following bead is going to be moving. If this bag is facing you the way mine is facing me, it's going to be moving from forward to backward or backward to forward. Basically, it's going to be moving. You're going to insert your fishing line from back to front, right? Do it the same thing on both sides, then pick up 1 bead and cross. Please tell me I'm making sense. Okay, so you cross, that's going to squeeze. Then the next bead, your next bead, where you're supposed to be setting your fishing line to the next bead, the bead should be going bottom to top. So you're going to be working like this. You insert your fishing line to the next beads on each side, bottom to top. As you can see, I'm starting from the bottom, I'm pulling it to the top. Then I'm going to pick up 1 bead and cross. Then the next bead is going to be back to front. So I repeated the same thing on both sides. And as you can see, it has squeezed the handle of our bag, and this is what it's looking like without me pressing the middle, and this is what it's looking like with me pressing the middle. Now remember all the explanation I was giving about your sides being an even number, then it's going to come out an odd number. This is what I mean. So our sides were 4, right? We had 4 rows for our sides. If you look at the TPT top right there of our handle, you'll see 3 beads. We've got 3 beads there. So an even number, having a side of an even number is going to give you a handle of an odd number. So we are going to build a 3, I call it a 3 by 4 handle. If I had a side of 5 rows, I'm going to have that's 5 rows, that's an odd number. I'm going to have a beaded handle of an even number. That is the 4 by 4 beaded handle. And I have, forgive me for that, and I have tutorials on how to make each of those beaded handles as well. You can go through the beginner in beads playlist. So to do the handle, you pick up 3 beads. Your fishing line should be attached to 1 bead. Pick up 3 beads, cross with the 3rd bead, insert your fishing line into the following bead, pick up 2 beads, cross to the 2nd bead, and by the time you turn your work, you should have 1 bead left. Like I said, it's a 3 by 3, 3 by 4. So insert your fishing line into the 3rd bead, and into the very first bead that you picked off that row, your fishing line should be attached to 3 beads. And how many beads do you need to complete? Just 1 bead in order to make a 4 circle. Okay, that's why I call it the 3 by 4. So as you can see, those are the 3 beads there. So if your fishing line is attached to those 3 beads, pick up 3 beads to start, cross with the 3rd bead, insert your fishing line into the following bead, pick up 2 beads, cross with the 2nd bead, right? This is me inserting my fishing line to the following bead. It's very hard to film handles for bags, honestly. It's very hard. Then you're going to pick up 2 beads, cross to the 2nd bead like you see me do right there. Then for the 3rd bead, I'm going to insert my fishing line into the 3rd bead. And into the very first bead that we'll pick. Remember those 3 beads we picked at the beginning, right? The very first one that you picked up, you're going to insert the fishing line into that bead. Our fishing line is going to be attached to 3 beads, and then you're going to cross with the 3rd bead, and you're going to do this until your handle is long enough. So for me, my handle, I did an extension of 8 rows, okay? So I'm going to be joining with the 9th row. Now, my fishing line was attached to 1 bead. I picked up 1 bead and I just attached it. Please make sure that they are in sync. You're attaching it to the corresponding bead of the other handle, okay? Pick up 1 bead and cross. So this is basic joining, okay? Then you insert your fishing line into the 2nd bead of the longer handle and into the 2nd bead of the shorter handle, and then you're going to pick up 1 bead and you're going to cross, okay? Then you're going to insert your fishing line into the 3rd bead, into the 1st bead you picked up, and into the 3rd bead of the other handle. You're not adding any beads at this stage because you just basically want both fishing lines to meet so you can tie it off so that it's going to be attached. Guys, I really tried my best to explain everything in this video. I was scared that the tutorial was going to be too long and boring, but honestly, I really hope it helps because I'm normally supposed to be doing like intermediate and advanced beaded bags. Like I'll be telling you, okay, do this, do this, do that, okay? So that's our bag, it's finished. Now let's get on to part 2 of this video. And that is adding all the embellishment, the jewels and everything that you want to customize your bag with. Now you guys, listen to me, listen. I use a 0.25 fishing line to do all this. But I recommend, since I use a 0.70 for my beaded bag, I recommend that you either get a 0.50, a 0.5 fishing line, or a 0.60, or even a 0.40, okay? A 0.25 is too long, it's too thin, okay? But I used that's what I got, honestly. That was the excess that I got. So that's for the fishing line. Now for all the jewelry and everything that you want to put on your bag, guys, please take my advice, okay? These ones I just ordered them from Temu. I just went random with these beads. Please order a variety of beads with 0.8 size 8 beads, size 6 beads, of crystals, of tube beads, of long beads, of plastic sequins. That's what I didn't order like that because when you have like bigger beads, it makes your work faster, right? I hope I'm making sense. I'll explain more. Okay, now to start, I just inserted my fishing line. I made a very long fishing line, by the way, into one end. Then I made sure all the fishing lines met on one place and made sure they were equal. Then I tied it to secure. Now this is the hard part of the bag. You can't use a needle. Yes, you can't use a beading needle for this bag. I'm sorry, it's going to break. So you're going to have to use your fingers and pick up each and every bead and bead this bag on it. And bead the beads on the bag. Yeah. Okay, yeah. All right. So, as you can see, I'm picking up, these are size 2, I believe. Size 2 sand beads. I picked up size 2 sand beads. I picked up size 4. I think, no, that's the size 2 round beads. I picked up sequin beads. Like, just random, make them at random, okay? There is no formula for which beads should I pick first, which one should I not pick. Pick them as random as you can. Then I'm going to show you 2 methods that you can do this anyway. Pick them as random as you can, but make sure that each bead, please don't go and get a ruler and measure. Each string of beads that you string on your fishing line, it shouldn't be longer than an inch. Okay? Then I'm just going to insert the fishing line into the beads moving from right to left. The beads that have holes moving from right to left. So do this in a random manner. Okay? So there are 2 methods that you can use to accessorize this bag. The first one, I'll call it the scanty method, where you just put beads in a scanty way all over the bag. You just do this method. It basically is the method that I'm showing you how to do right now. So you put beads, then you insert it, put beads to be like an inch or a quarter of an inch or either 3/4 of an inch or an inch. Then you insert it into the fishing. You go from back to front, back to front, back to front, just like that. You just go back to front, back to front, back to front. I call this the scanty method. And basically the scanty method is you're not trying to make it look full at the beginning, okay? So you're just trying to like lay like a base on how you want it to look like. See, look at those tiny sequin beads. These are sequin beads, by the way. These flat beads with the holes, they're called sequin beads. So you can go ahead and check plastic sequins. Yeah, so I had gemstones and all of that. So I was just making like a base, so I was just going back to front with the base. So as you can see, this is what it looks like. Back to front. It's not looking full at the start. I'm just picking up beads to be like 3/4 an inch or an inch. Then I'm going back to front. When I'm done here, I was done with the first row with the first fishing line and it got short. So I went back to the start with the other side of the fishing line and I was coming back this way. So I was working from right to left, right to left, right to left. And when I get to the left with the 2 ends of the fishing line, I am going to tie it. Okay, so just pick up beads and be making these circles. If you decide to use the scanty method, you can just be going back to front, then continue back to front, or you create chains. I'm going to show you what I mean by create chains. So you string beads on your fishing line. This is the second method. You string beads on your fishing line. This is the second style of the first method. Okay, we are still on the scanty method. I'm talking about the scanty method. So you string beads, then you insert your fishing line into the previous string of beads, like you see me do. Yeah, I'm inserting it into the previous string of beads right there. Then I'm going into the next bead, going from left to right. So it's either you're just making like these tiny circles here. Yeah, you can either make circles or chains. Circles is just picking up beads on your fishing line, then inserting it straight into the hole, picking up beads straight into the hole. Then chains is picking up beads on your fishing line, then going into the previous beads that you had put in a string, okay, into the circle from the previous circles that you made. Now I'm literally begging, please someone tell me in the comment section that I made sense in this video, okay? Then the second method, which is the full method, which you can do it as well. I didn't show it, but is basically you filling up, like making the bag as full as you want as you go. Okay, don't do like the scanty method before you come and make it full. That's what I did in this entire tutorial. You can just be making the bag as full as you want as you go. So if you're in a particular spot, make sure that spot is as full as you want, and then you just keep going, making sure each part is full. I just decided to do this method, especially because I was not sure the quantity of beads I had to use. I was not sure about, especially as I was using tiny beads basically. Okay, so that's the second method, and the previous one that I showed was the chain. So this is the chain method I was talking about. Those are like chains. The second row I used the chain method, the chain style. Then the first row I did the circle method. So I'm just doing this. As you can see, the back is looking scanty. It's not looking like a bedazzling bag, basically, right? So now I want to show you what to do when your fishing line gets short. You do what you know you're normally supposed to do. Make sure both ends of the fishing lines meet on one spot, tie it off, then grab your new fishing line, eh? Then make sure you grab one end. You can either make sure the both ends of the fishing lines are in one spot as well, and then you tie it, or you take one end and you tie it to one end of the old fishing line, like the fishing line you want to dump. Right? Okay, so I'm just attaching a new fishing line here. Mine got short. Then you just start beading normally. You can cut off all the excess fishing lines when you're like done with everything. So I'm just going to continue from where I ended. I'm really sorry about the lighting. Like, I really tried. Like, these red beads were so bright. I was fighting for my life here. Okay. So go ahead and get round beads, get tiny beads, a variety of beads in order to do this. So this is me. I just beaded like the whole flat side. Then I was going up to the handle. Then actually I got angry at this point. I decided to add a zip. I don't know why. I was frustrated with the whole beading process. I decided to add a zip. And this is what it was looking like. I wasn't even done. But this is what it was looking like so far. And honestly, I was liking it. I was like, hey, look, I've got tiny flowers. I had a teddy bear in somewhere. I had like this teardrop beads in there somewhere as well. Yeah, so this is the last thing that I did because it wasn't full enough still for me. So I got the sugar beads, right? This is another trick if you don't have like all the excess beads. I'm really sorry for all the background noise if you guys can hear it. So I got the sugar beads or the square beads and I tried to make it fuller. So I just inserted the sugar beads or the square beads into one end of the fishing line, picked up the bigger sequins, then I went back into the same hole of the sugar beads, and boom, that just made it to kind of like pop and stand up straight, made it a little bit spiky, which I really liked. Then if you want to start laying, okay, you're done with like the initial scanty part. If you want to start laying more beads like on top, what I'm going to advise you is you should just go insert the fishing line into the rows under like 2 times or 3 times before you insert your fishing line into the beads of the back. I hope I'm making sense. So you can actually, when you're layering or adding more beads, you can get away without inserting your fishing line into the beads of the back. You can just move the fishing line within this crisscross, or I call it the web of beads, between the web of beads and all of that. You can get away with doing that. Then when you've done it like 2-3 times, you can then attach it to the original bag, okay, the beads of the bag. And this is how it turned out. I love this bag so much. By the way, guys, I have an announcement to make. I have opened my Etsy shop. So if you do want to purchase any beads, or if you're a crochet lover, if you don't know, I do crochet as well. If you want to get any of those, you can get that from my shop. I'll leave the link down in the description box. Yeah, so that was the bag. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys for sticking with me even when I wasn't posting. I love you guys so much. We're growing so fast. I pray that God will continue to bless you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.